People underestimated me my whole life just for being a white boy, you know? Yeah, for all those that don't know me yet, Thane Wadams is just a world-class person. Thane Wadams is just the best version of himself that, you know, every day we just look to get better. We don't live in the past because our past is not our potential. Thane Wadams is somebody that's making a difference in the community, building a platform so big that we can give back to the young adolescent kids that grew up in the group homes that, you know, I grew up in, and, you know, just show people that you could create your own reality, because I was dealt a bad hand. But, you know, right now we're living good, you know. When I got out of the group home, I asked my probation officer if I could play football and if I could wrestle, and, you know, they kept telling me no. And I felt like life, like I didn't understand why everybody around me kept leaving, abusing me. I had this poor me thing, so I had to break that. I had to really break myself. And you know, once I finally got approved to play sports, I kind of had that fire lit up in me again. It felt like real life, because, you know, when you get out, you're like this person that was living under a rock. I'm glad I didn't give up, because there was many times I tried, you know. You know, life isn't easy. Anybody in this room could probably attest to that. And, you know, I just keep chopping because, you know, I'd just rather whatever happened, you know. I don't want to give up, though, just because, you know, I've been through it. So I just tell my younger self that I love you, and I'm glad I didn't give up. My son is a big part of this, you know, just because, like, I grew up without my dad. All right, you remember the affirmation that I told you?
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay. I'm so happy and grateful now. Health, wealth, and prosperity comes to me on a crazy quantities through multiple sources
on a continuous basis. I'm a money what?
Magnet.
I'm the greatest
kid of all time.
And I'm the greatest dad of all time. Yeah, dig! I think you know, my son has just really allowed me to become the best version of myself, because I want to be the best example for him. And my son changed my mindset. Just when you see something so innocent, you know, you see something that's just unconditional love, it just hits different, you know. I've never had anybody make me feel that way. I've never had anybody talk to me that way. And, you know, it's just, yeah, I don't even really got words for it. I think you know how I feel. You know, my son just gives me courage and hope, and I don't really care what happens as long as we get to live a long life together. You know, I'm being my most unapologetic self, you know, so I don't really define myself in one category. I think that it's amazing to be able to be a creator just in general. I'm just co-creating with God. So, you know, I'm just walking and doing everything that I love to do, because I live every day like it's my last day. You know, we're not promised tomorrow. So the one thing that I always struggled with in life was breathing. You know, I used to be a slave to society because everybody could get me to react. You could get me to fight you. You know, I was quick-tempered. I was jumping out the car. I was snatching guns out of people's hands and knocking people out on the street. I mean, you know, I was really just quick-tempered, and I think it was because I didn't know how to control my breathing. I finally felt like I was able to release and let go a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of things that were still holding on.
Evolution of Thanos.
I had met Coach Bullet, and you know, I think that's when he was in his transition with Rolly, taking Rolly to, you know, becoming a world champion. And you know, what stood out to me about, you know, Coach Bullet was we are very similar. You know, I don't want to tell his business, but a lot of the things that I do, he's already done. I just looked at Coach like, man, you know, you don't judge me for what I do. Like on the weekends, I gotta, you know, be Magic Mike, and then back on Monday, we're gonna keep chopping this wood. And, you know, he doesn't have to babysit me, because it's like, you know, we're the same person. And so, you know, and I truthfully, I like the fact that I have a coach that can not only train me, but can get in that ring and spar with me, can go up to the mountain with me, and, you know, just overall understand that being a father is first. I'll give it to myself. I'm really learning this sweet science, and it's not just being able to fight, it's actually understanding what's coming next. And I gotta give it to my team, you know, for actually not just showing me the motions, but explaining to me why, because shit has to make sense for me to keep going. I can't just do the motions. It doesn't feel right, you know, so.
Been in the biggest games, but I've been boxing for over 10 years. Took it serious in 2019, been putting in crazy work for the last 5-6 years, and it's gonna show on April 12th.
DJ who? That was my first reaction. You know, look, I don't underestimate anybody. Anybody that's willing to step in that square circle is definitely a man. And, you know, I appreciate somebody signing that contract, because a lot of people get scared when, you know, push comes to shove. So realistically, this is just another day, another opponent. I didn't think too much of it. You know, I'm just grateful to be in this position, and grateful to have an opponent. Yeah, you know, I usually retire these guys. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that I don't have respect. Once again, I have respect for everybody that competes, but it's just, it's a different world. You know, we're in Thane's world. He's just living in it.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. You can't play boxing.
Hell no.
This one for you, Jace.
I live every day like it's my last day. You know, we're not promised tomorrow. People underestimated me my whole life just for being a white boy, you know. I really just had to get it out the mud. I thrive when these lights come on. I don't know what it is. I always knew I was a star. It was just everybody was trying to dim my light. I am Thane Wadams.
Always in the know. Best TV, we bring every seat together. Tune in, we're the vibe forever. Gamers, sports, fashion, so clever. Deserve the best, we'll leave you never.